Alright, here we are recording, folks. We made a small mistake over here. So we're going to look at the following items on this one. So we're going to go through the process here. It's called read. We're going to read, find the equation in the extrema, and then we're going to apply our knowledge, and then we're going to find the domain of the function and make sure that our answer works. Okay? So I need to find the equation of this line. To do so, we know that this line here is a linear equation. And I'm going to use the line y equals mx plus b. Okay? So the hard part about this is we need to find b, which is here. B is the y-intercept. The problem is we don't really know this height here. So we're going to find that. And then once we do that, we're going to find the slope by the rise over the run. And then we'll be able to figure it out. To do so, we need to draw this picture again because it looks kind of convoluted in its current form. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. So if I redraw this picture, what I'm going to have is this is basically like, this is 1 and 1, and it said this was 2, right? Because it says it's a isosceles right triangle, and we know
Alejandra Canelo, please come to the main office.
If this is isosceles, this is the same as this, which implies this is a 45-90 triangle, right? So these are the same because these opposite sides are the same, which means it's a 45-45 triangle. And then so we're going to apply the 45-45 triangle rule, which if you remember from last year it was x, x, x root 2. Okay? So the only side we know for sure is that 2 is equal to x root 2. So we can apply those and then find x and then plug those in here and then work from that. So what we get then is we're going to get that 2 is the same as x root 2. So 2 equals x square root of 2. And then we divide by square root of 2 to both sides. So x equals 2 over root 2. I'm going to rationalize this because it comes out prettier if I do so. 2 times root 2 is just 2 root 2 over, that's just 2, equals x. The 2's cancel and I get x equals the square root of 2. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug this here. This x represents the sides of these. So this is just root 2, and that's also root 2. And so, back in my picture here, so I'm going to label this as this is the square root of 2, this is also the square root of 2, okay? And now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to draw my picture again because it looks like it's very crowded up there. I didn't mean to make it look so crowded. So we know so far, because remember, I want to find this distance here, okay? And I already know this is 1, okay? And now I know, I'm trying to find this distance here. I already know this is 1, and now I know this is root 2. So now I'm going to use the Pythagorean theorem again and find this. I'm going to call it h, whatever you want to call it. You don't want to call it x or y because x and y are already defined here. So you want to just call it like a dummy variable h or, p. Call it r for Roseville if you want. So we're going to use Pythagorean theorem. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. This is a, this is b, and this is c. So we get a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And then I simplify. And then I'm going to subtract 1. And then we get h squared equals plus or minus, h squared equals 1. And then I take the square root and put plus or minus. So h equals plus or minus 1. And because the height can't be negative, we just block out the negative. So h is 1. So it looks like if you had a sneaking suspicion that was 1, we just proved it here. So we know now that if you look at it, this distance is 1, which means it hits the y-axis here at 1 because this is 1 tall, right? So clearly the y-intercept is 1, which means in my equation, b is 1 so far. In my equation, y equals mx plus b, and the slope is rise over run. And what is my rise? So m is at rows how many? 1, and it ran 1, and the slope is it going negative or positive? It's clearly going negatively, so it's going to be negative 1 over 1, which is just negative 1. So for the answer for part A, it says express the y-coordinate of p in terms of x. It is the equation y equals negative 1 x, because the slope was negative 1, plus 1. And this is the answer to part A over here.